Hello everyone, hope you are doing good. So in my last video, I showed you Exasol Virtual Schema on Exasol's Community Edition. That's about how to expose remote tables as if they were locals. Today we go further, same concept, production SaaS cluster, live Snowflake warehouse and an AI layer that lets any analyst query both databases in plain English. No SQL, no pipelines, no data movement. I posted a high-level architecture overview of this on LinkedIn. If you found that and want the full technical deep dive, like you are in the right place. It's all about one question, two databases, one federated answer. Let's build it. So, in this section, we are going to see how Exasol Virtual Schema pulls data directly from different databases. So for this demo, I'm using Exasol SaaS platform. Exasol has three different platforms, like for SaaS platform, and they have a Exasol Personal, which is powered by AWS Cloud, and we have on-prem Exasol Community Engine. So I have another series where I'm talking about why Exasol, what is the Exasol, and what is the architecture behind it, and what are the capabilities Exasol has, and I'll go deep dive about platforms when we talk more about Exasol. But the focus for this particular demo is like how we are going to use Exasol's virtual schema to pull data directly from different databases. So for this very demo, I'm using Snowflake. The purpose here is to pull data directly from Snowflake without ETL, without pipelines, just by using a JDBC bridge and very, two different SQL statements. But before we write a single line of SQL, there is one thing Exasol needs to know about Snowflake, the JDBC driver. Exasol uses BucketFS, which is a distributed file system built into the cluster. This is using to store jar files that a JVM can access at query time. Think of it as Exasol's internal library shelf for drivers and adapters. We need two jars on that shelf, the virtual schema adapter that it handles the federation logic and the Snowflake JDBC driver that handles the actual connection. So we have a virtual schema jar here and we have drivers here. So this is the JDBC jar which we have to handle the actual connections. This is the Exasol SaaS file management console. Like everything you see here lives inside the cluster. There is no external storage or no separate setup. The adapter jar, virtual schema, the 12.01 Snowflake, like we have a call jar that is what intercepts every query against the virtual tables and translates it into Snowflake SQL. So we are using Snowflake JDBC 3.13.22 jar. The JDBC driver goes inside the drivers, and alongside we have a settings.config file. This is all about settings, just so that you are aware of what is happening behind the scene of when we're connecting Exasol with Snowflake using virtual schema. So this config tells Exasol how to register the drive, the class name, the jar path, the JDBC prefix. Without this file, like Exasol doesn't know the driver exists. So we will sync all the files whatever we have uploaded. And I wanted to query something to see like what we have in Exasol, also what we have in Snowflake, so that we will create a lot of things. 1 second, I have been using this a lot, so I'll just try to understand what is there in the banking and accounts table, so that we'll try to query something from the SQL Snowflake as well. So let's see how quickly Exasol brings the data here. So there is something called MPP, a massive parallel processing behind the scene, and we have running behind, so that that's the reason why we are getting the response is very quick. That is one of the strength, and that is what Exasol is known for, which anyway we'll go deep dive how that is works and so on. So coming back to this demo, so in the banking accounts we have account ID, account type and balance, and we have a status of it where it talks about active, frozen, suspension, and open date, lost transactions. That is what we have here. So we'll go to do the same thing here in Snowflake. This is Snowflake. So as you know, like here we have the complaints cases, different complaints case and credit histories and customers names and all. If you see there, there are no customer names in Exasol. So what we are trying to do here, so we will try to connect a Snowflake to Exasol through the virtual schema and see how does other things are working, and if you are able to see. So I'm using. I already set up because everything is done. So I just run the query so that for the sake of time. So I'm creating here a new virtual schema. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm creating virtual schema, Snowflake virtual schema using the adapter. We wanted to get the table of customers, credit score, transaction, complaints, and cases, because that is what we have here. If you see here, complaints, credit score, and customers. So if you run this, we need to get the we will be able to get the connections. The virtual schema can be connected between Exasol and Snowflake. Let the query gets run. So it is done. So let me check the customer table. This is the customer list we have. So in Snowflake. So if I run this here, so I'm getting the data from Snowflake through virtual schema, right? So let's get the data. Yeah, so what you see here is we are getting the data without writing any pipeline or something the data lies within the Snowflake, and we are not, as you see, there is no different pipelines have been written. We connected them through JDBC. That is the beauty of virtual schema what Exasol has, right? So this is NexusIQ, a native knowledge platform built to sit on top of this federation architecture. So if you see here, this has been connected to Exasol first. So we are querying directly from Exasol databases, what we just saw. So if you see here, the NexusIQ is connected directly to Exasol. You can see both what is connected to Exasol and banking. Banking is a database which, if you remember, we have seen inside the Exasol query, inside the Exasol databases. So we have accounts table inside of it. So we are trying to get the data of all the bank accounts and their balance. This is something we replicate what we are trying to do from there. So if you see here, you are getting all the bank balances, the similar fashion of what we get from Exasol worksheet. So here you are giving some insights and all. If you wanted to go deep dive about Nexus or NexusIQ, how I built, what is the architecture behind that, if you can check my previous posts, and I recorded a YouTube video about all the technical architectures and everything behind it. So for this particular, coming back to here, I'm trying to connect Exasol, and then trying to connect Snowflake. So the intention here is to extract the data or get the output from Exasol database engine, and then get the output from Snowflake database engine separately, and then we will use a federated system whatever we have already linked through jars in Exasol, right? So now if you see, I connected NexusIQ and Snowflake. Snowflake has a database called NexusIQ DB. That is what we are using. All the tables are stored under NexusIQ DB. So this has already been connected in Exasol in real time. And the query, we are trying to get the customers who have an high critical and high credit loss. If you see here, there is a if join. With the join, we are trying to get join query. This one, we are using vCPU query, so that's a text to SQL, normally AI layer. So what I'm trying to show here, instead of SQL query, we are trying to run all this federation on top of AI layer. So if you see the response here, you're getting high risk and the critical customers with the risk category, credit scores, and their flag status and everything with the key insights, right? So what we wanted to do now, so if you see here, you are having a customer's name and the status, a flag status and everything in Snowflake, and you have bank balances and everything in Exasol. If I wanted to take any decision, or if I wanted to see who is actually in critical risk, I need to know their entire history, right? What is the account balance they are having? So I need to connect both Exasol and Snowflake. So what way we need to do in normal way? We need to connect, we need to build some pipeline between these two databases, and we need to bring the data and show. So what I'm trying to do here, if you see in the connector, like I connected to Exasol Virtual Schema. So the federated NexusIQ Virtual Schema with Snowflake Virtual Schema. This is coming from the UDF workspace, whatever we have used in Exasol SaaS platform. So I'm trying to get an answer of all the customers with frozen accounts and their credit risk from Snowflake, because Snowflake has those data. So let it run. So already we've seen in Exasol's SQL worksheet like how we are able to get the data from Snowflake directly. So that is the same thing I'm just trying to ask here. This is a federation query, like one plain English question. So Exasol joins account data with Snowflake credit risk. So that is data via virtual schema. We'll see like what we are trying to get the response. So yeah, we are taught to getting a response. So if you see here, the frozen suspended accounts and credit risk, which comes with KYC status, bank balances and account status. The bank balance account status comes from Exasol, and the remaining things comes from Snowflake. So there is no 3 high-risk frozen accounts returned. You are getting the insights and getting the information what you are looking for within 33 seconds. Right, there is no pipeline, there is no ETL, or there is no data movement. What we have here is just a federation. That is the beauty of virtual schema, what Exasol has written it. It's not only Snowflake and other things. Virtual schema adapter, Exasol has a virtual schema adapter for Snowflake, Databricks, like S3 Parquet files, S3 object storage, and SQL, Postgres, whatnot. Just go back and check my virtual schema video, which I posted a little while ago using Community Edition, where I detailedly explain about the Exasol virtual schema capabilities. So here comes the most interesting part. I wanted to go a little deeper to explain how it works. What is the architecture behind the NexusIQ, the access layer connecting between Exasol and Snowflake virtual schema. Let me walk you through exactly what happened under the hood. The user lane, so something like the user asks a question, like types a plain English question in NexusIQ. So here the NexusIQ LangGraph agent classifies the intent, reads the schema via SQL agent, MCP, and text to SQL, and I'm using like Claude API here, and there is a pyexasol Python package is there to connect to Exasol. So the beauty of this, coming to Exasol lane, the SQL hits Exasol SaaS. Like if you see here, the Exasol SaaS with the connection with whatever the configuration we have and so on. The MPP engine, so that is what I'm talking about, the massive parallel processing, which helps to get the answers as quickly as possible. And it's one of my interesting topic to cover in my series. Like I'll go deep dive how the nodes are connected, and I'll really go deep dive and explain how MPP engine works and how it helps Exasol to get the information as quickly as possible. So now coming back here, if you see the virtual schema box, the virtual schema exposes Snowflake tables as if they are local, like the customers, transaction, credit score, compliance. If you go back and think, remember this Snowflake, like you can see all these databases, right? And the banking schema is nothing but Exasol, like it has its account and all other stuff. So now the important part, how it is being connected. So the JDBC connection, as I just mentioned, import from JDBC and Snowflake connection, like we did all the setups and everything. So behind this thing, Exasol uses import from JDBC to pull data from Snowflake through the JDBC bridge. So here, if you check on the Snowflake, again Snowflake I connected using, these are all the connection details, and we have a different tables like customers, credit score, transaction, and compliances, right? So Snowflake executes the query on its compute warehouse and returns the JSON results it backs to Exasol. This is normally happening as usual. So let's comes to the output plan. So output lane like XSL merges the results, NexusIQ formats the response, and there are three high risk account sources clearly attributed. The key insight, Exasol is not just a database here. It's acting as a federation engine, a query planner, and a distributed compute layer simultaneously. So what we saw today is a pattern that applies to any enterprise with data distributed across multiple systems. Exasol Virtual Schema gives you a logic unified view without physical data movement. When you combine that with an AI layer that understands plain English, you are essentially given every analyst in your organization access to all your data through a single interface. I'll just go through and I'll keep digging about it, like why MPP and how the distributed compute still matter in the AI era, and how XSL architecture handles massive parallel workloads. I'm keep learning, and I'm keep creating contents and videos around it so that the developer community and everyone can get helpful. If this was useful, you can follow this channel. I'm building out, I'm planning to write a series of episodes covering the full modern data platform architecture stack. The architecture diagram, LinkedIn post, and GitHub repo are all linked in the description. Thanks everyone once again. Let's connect to you in my next episode on the data platform architecture. Thank you.